episode 588 of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. No episode of AEW Rampage tonight, so we are talking WWE Friday Night Smackdown only. A number one contender for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship was determined. The new SmackDown Tag Team Championships were presented, and the Women's Championship was on the line in the main event. Bayley defending against Naomi. Gonna talk all about it right here, right now. 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Hey there, Wrestling Fanatics. Welcome to 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Lance Brock here. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight, listening, downloading on your phone, your tablet, your iPod, your computer, however you listen to 360 Wrestling podcasts. Thank you for listening tonight. It's a Friday night, but we only have one pro wrestling show to talk about tonight, and that is WWE Friday Night Smackdown. I know I've been talking about it, especially the last day or two. Tomorrow night, AEW Rampage will be airing 10 p.m. Eastern, right after Collision. And without any further ado, let's get it right into tonight's WWE Friday Night Smackdown, live from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And we start things off with the number one contenders match for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. The phenomenal AJ Styles versus LA Knight. Yeah. Good match here. And AJ Styles, the phenomenal one, getting the win, becoming the number one contender. And it is official in 2 weeks at Backlash in France. The American Nightmare Cody Rhodes defending against the phenomenal AJ Styles, which will be, I think, a great match. Could definitely be match of the night right there. And even though I don't think it's going to happen, I would definitely like to see AJ Styles walk out of Backlash, the Universal Champion. I just don't see him having Cody Rhodes lose the title this soon, especially after the whole finish the story thing. Don't see him losing it yet, even though I would love to see AJ Styles be on top once again as Universal Champion. Just don't see it happening. And then we get the presentation of the new SmackDown Tag Team Championships. A-Town Down Under, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. And we're going to have a fatal four-way determine their next challengers. And they are on commentary for this next match. And it is the Street Profits getting the win to become the number one contenders. And then we see Solo Sikoa in the back with Paul Heyman. And then he brings in his, I hope I'm saying this right, NFT. Maybe I'm saying that wrong. I have a feeling I am. I actually pretty sure I am saying that wrong, but I apologize. Tama Tonga, the son of Haku, which they kept mentioning on commentary. Corey Graves and Wade Barrett, by the way. I forgot to mention that at the top of the podcast like I usually do. And Solo is looking for Kevin Owens. Solo and Paul Heyman go to the ring. And then we see Tama Tonga come out with a bloody Kevin Owens. KO is actually able to escape Tama Tonga, get in the ring, a bloody mess, go after Solo, but Solo gets the upper hand, hits him with a Samoan spike, leaves him laying. We have Santos Escobar defeating Carlito. And just before the main event on SmackDown this week, we have Damage Control up in one of the skyboxes. And then we hear the music of Jade Cargill, and we see her and the EST of WWE, Bianca Belair, also in a skybox. And it turns out that is in the skybox right next to the one Damage Control is in. And now it's time for our SmackDown main event this week. The WWE Women's Championship on the line. Bayley defending against Naomi. I thought this was a pretty good match. They're on the floor. They go over to the announce table, and Naomi gets slammed on it. But then at the time, Tiffany Stratton comes from the crowd, attacks Bayley, attacks Naomi, and wouldn't be surprised if Tiffany is the next challenger for Bayley's WWE Women's Championship. And to be honest, big fan of Bayley, but there is definitely part of me that wouldn't be surprised, or I wouldn't mind if they do put the title on Tiffany Stratton. I mean, like that old saying, strike while the iron is hot. And even though she is billed as a heel, Tiffany Stratton does have a lot of momentum right now. She is definitely on a hot streak. The fans, even though she is a heel, she is over. Remember the huge reception she got at the Elimination Chamber Premium Live event in Perth, Australia. So I actually think now just might be a good time to put the title on Tiffany. And that was this week's Friday Night Smackdown. Once again, no Rampage tonight, airing 10 p.m. Eastern, right after Collision. The same time while the TNA Rebellion pay-per-view will be going on. So I definitely hope to have a new episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic tomorrow night, but it's going to be a late episode, like I always say for the pay-per-views, especially when there's multiple shows on at the same time to watch. So not sure exactly what time I'll be able to start the podcast, but I definitely plan on doing a new episode tomorrow night. So stay tuned. Same thing goes for Sunday, AEW Dynasty. Be watching the pay-per-view, of course, and then Tony Khan's media scrum after the show. And sometimes that does go a little late. So whenever that is over, I'll try another new episode Sunday night. And before I wrap up this episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic, while SmackDown was on, actually, there was some pretty big news coming out. 3 releases from the company. Jinder Mahal, Xia Li, and Zion Quinn. And Jinder Mahal just said on X, "I quit, Maharaja out." And mentioned his 90 days also in another tweet. And also Xia Li, Zion Quinn, gone from the company. And I want to say these are really major losses. But Jinder Mahal, been there quite a long time. And this is not his first time being released. And he is a talented guy, don't get me wrong. Even a former WWE champion at one time. But I really didn't see him really moving up in the company anytime soon. And Xia Li, this might also work out for her too. She could go out, do some indies, and build up a name for herself, and then maybe even come back to WWE one day. So who knows? And I believe that is all the news I got for tonight. Thank you everyone for tuning in to 360 Wrestling Fanatic episode 588. In the comment section you can go now and give your thoughts and your opinions on tonight's episode of WWE Friday Night Smackdown. Also your last minute comments or predictions, I should say, for TNA Rebellion tomorrow night, AEW Dynasty on Sunday night. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning for the Saturday episode of Good Morning Wrestling Fans, and I will preview tomorrow night's TNA Rebellion pay-per-view. So hope you all will join me tomorrow morning for GMWF. But until then, I am Lance, and I am a wrestling fanatic.